Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, government targets middle of next month to complete disbursement of seeds and fertilizers to farmers affected by the dry spell, as food imports are expected to come in by September 20.
With 2-3 weeks, we should have been able to distribute all our seeds and fertilizers to allow for the minor season planting, and then the rains, take advantage of the rains that are currently falling in there.
Coming up, the Ghana Revenue Authority targets to rope in 2 million informal sector workers into the tax net through the implementation of a modified tax system.
We want to bring everybody into the tax net. When we start, the team is in Accra working seriously. We are expecting to bring on about 2 million people.
My name is Darryl Powell. Thanks for joining us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us. First up, government has revealed it is hoping to complete disbursement of seed and fertilizers to affected farmers hit by the dry spell by the middle of next month. This is part of measures to ensure that farmers can still take advantage of the planting season before the end of the year. Government is also looking at bringing in the first batch of imported grains and other foodstuff before the end of next month. Brian Echampong is Minister of Agriculture, and he spoke on PM Express Business Edition.
There was a lot of backroom work that had been commissioned, first at the presidential level, chaired by the president himself, to agree, for government to agree to the measures that we wanted to implement. Then the data collection, which was rapidly done, still ongoing, but at least we have a first set of information, and that is what allowed us to put an initial package together. As we speak, there's aggressive efforts to get the seeds and fertilizers on the ground. We want to, by the end of next week, put in the hands of farmers maybe about 50% of what they need, because we have a very short window for the planting season in the north, and then also for the planting season in the south. So within 2-3 weeks, we should have been able to distribute all our seeds and fertilizers to allow for the minor season planting, and then the rains, take advantage of the rains that are currently falling in the north. So the food aspect also, we have some food on the high seas coming in. Should be here in a couple of weeks. We want to be able to get the food in the system by the 20th of September. And then the cash transfers, we are working on the modalities, and then the validation is also still ongoing. So largely, we have our hands firmly on the steering, and we believe that we'll be able to implement the interventions successfully.
Right. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Cosmos Innovation Center, Benjamin Jan Kese, is calling for pragmatic agricultural solutions to tackle food insecurity in the country. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the Agricultural Innovation for Africa conference organized by the Cosmos Innovation Center, Mr. Jan Kese explained that the impact of climate change calls for policies that will encourage the youth to venture into agric.
Cultural Innovation for Africa Conference is a 2-day forum with the objective of advancing conversations expected to shape the future of agricultural innovation, youth employment, and food security in Africa. It assembles policymakers, academia, and actors in the value chain to deliberate on measures to be taken in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 2, which aims at creating a world free of hunger by 2030. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the second edition of the conference, Executive Director of Cosmos Innovation Center, Benjamin Jankese, called for youth-led innovations to champion the issue of food security on the continent.
Africa, like the rest of the world, is facing unprecedented challenges in the face of changing climate conditions. There are a lot of agricultural transformation towards food security and sustainable food systems, and it is timely that the perspective of youth actors within the system is added to the.
He details the expected outcome of the conference.
The conference provides an invaluable opportunity to address issues that startups face and explore actionable solutions, harnessing the youth potential to transform Africa. Youth and agri-SMEs continue to remain at the forefront of innovations and change in agriculture. By supporting these young innovators through conferences such as these, we are strategically positioning ourselves to champion a course of navigating the daunting challenges of food systems.
Delivering the keynote address, Country Director for Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, Dr. Betty Annan, stressed on the need for innovative financing schemes to support startups.
Lack of credit in the agricultural sector prevents the ability of the market access to invest and grow. Addressing such challenges require more than just traditional approaches. Innovative financing mechanisms are critical to building climate resilience amongst our youth startups and agri-MSMEs. Access to affordable credit, blended finance modules, and climate-focused investment funds can enable these enterprises to adopt sustainable practices, invest in climate-smart technologies, and enhance productivity.
The conference, which is organized by the Cosmos Innovation Center, also hosted a pitch session where about 30 agro startups share details of their businesses and innovations in a quest to attract funding from partners and other financial institutions.
Now, the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has touted good progress in government's macroeconomic stability and growth agenda. He has been updating journalists on the state of the economy and new developments.
The Finance Minister at the media engagement indicated that his outfit is engaging the Securities and Exchange Commission to ensure that these monies are paid to aggrieved customers soon. Dr. Amin Adam, speaking to the media, also indicated that government fiscal consolidation program is progressing smoothly.
We had indicated in the 2024 mid-year review of fiscal policy presented in July 2024 that Cabinet had granted approval for the disbursement of an additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to provide relief and bailout for those whose funds have been locked up in the fund management companies. I am glad to inform you that the Ministry of Finance has processed the release for the first tranche of 700 million Ghana cedis of the additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis for the Securities and Exchange Commission to further bail out the remaining customers whose funds were locked up, including Black Shield Fund Management Limited customers.
On infrastructure project, government says it has spent some 10 billion Ghana cedis on road infrastructure from January to June 2024.
Like many of you who ply those roads, I am very impressed with the progress of work on this critical roads infrastructure. There are many roads across the country that are being funded from the national budget. And so far, ladies and gentlemen, from January to June, we've spent 10 billion Ghana cedis on road infrastructure alone.
Also speaking at the media engagement, Agric Minister Brian A. Champon on the ban of export of grains indicated that he expects ethanol to go beyond 6 months.
We're fine. What we are talking about is state filling in a gap. It's a state filling. The private sector actors are bringing in grains all the time. And this year they will bring in more grains than even what we seek to bring as food grants. So I don't think that there will be any effect on trade being performed by Ghana. What we have is that we have to deal with a very short-term challenge, and we believe that by keeping the grains in country, we can use it to avert a major. We don't even have to import more. We're going to bring in. Yet the little that we have, we want others to come in and take out.
On food security, government says it is poised to build resilience against further shocks. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority is targeting to rope in 2 million informal sector workers into the tax net through the implementation of a modified tax system. The new tax regime, which is expected to be implemented by 2025, is aimed at widening the country's tax base to include the informal sector in tax compliance. Kumasi Area Director of GRA, Agnes Akosua-Boateng, says the new system will simplify tax assessment and reduce compliance costs. Here's more in this report.
The Ghana Revenue Authority hosted a tax education seminar with faith-based organizations in the Ashanti region as part of activities geared towards mobilizing more revenue from the informal sector. Many players in the informal sector are failing in their tax obligations, mainly due to the complexity of the tax system. Kumasi Area Director of the GRA, Agnes Akosua-Boateng, explains the categories expected to be captured under the new tax regime.
The first one is it's going to be paid in installments. The installment payment is going to go for our taxpayers who sell on tables. You go to Mampon and after Mampon, you go and see them. We want to bring everybody into the tax net. When we start, the team is in Accra working seriously. We are expecting to bring on about 2 million people. We want to widen the tax rate.
Through its tax education program for the month of August, the GRA engaged traders and other stakeholders in a series of dialogue to enhance voluntary tax compliance. Mrs. Boateng charged religious leaders to encourage members to honor their tax obligations for national development.
If you are a church, for instance, and you have a bookshop, you have to register with it. If you have a printing shop, you have to register with the. Other than that, we want the church to take it up, collaborate with GRA so that collectively we educate the members you meet at Edum. They are the same members who go to church. The members you meet at Ashtown Market, KJTR Market, you go to Swami. They are the same people you will meet at church. So the church should collaborate with Ghana Revenue Authority.
Chief Revenue Officer at the Kumasi Collection of the Customs Division, Evans Tay Agozo, assures of robust and friendly transactions.
You realize that the education sank in well, you understand, as basically GRA this year is our customer-based strategy, whereby we are moving from that robust way of dealing in taxation to a more friendly approach to taxation.
While assuring to oblige the tax payments, participants at the program anticipate purposeful use of the collected revenues.
It's expedient on us, we the clergy, not only to teach them how to tithe, but also how to tax, because it is inscripted in the word of the Lord that you ought to give to Caesars what belongs to Caesars and give to God what belongs to God. If they do their work by using our taxes to build roads, build infrastructures, I believe that when it comes to taxes, it will not be difficult for the citizens to pay their taxes.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Now, Savings and Loans Company Advance Ghana has obtained an ISO certification after meeting a very rigorous set of criteria for information security management. The company specializes in providing savings and loans payment solutions in the financial sector. According to Chief Executive of the company, Guillaume Valens, the certification showcases the company's resolve to continuously protect and safeguard customer data. The International Standards Organization certification, ISO, is a recognized standard that validates an organization's ability to manage and protect sensitive data effectively. The certification involved a thorough evaluation of Advanced Ghana's information security management system, including risk management processes, security controls, and adherence to best practices. At a ceremony to hand over the certificate, Chief Executive of the company, Guillaume Valens, said the company will continue to prioritize security of customer data and information.
The reasons why we embarked on this journey is because, particularly in a fully digitized world, we are dealing with data, customer data, staff data every day, and we need to ensure these data are protected. We owe it to our clients, and this is how we can build trust in our clients' mind. We actually plan to significantly accelerate our outreach and growth in the coming months and years. So this certification recognizes that our processes, our operation, the way we manage our data is secured, is organized, and that the whole bank is actually organized to grow without generating any risk when it comes to data management for our clients.
Information Security Manager at Advanced Ghana, Kofi Kumi Brache, added that the certification will enhance the day-to-day activities of the institution.
The certificate is just the first part. It's just the first part of everything. Now comes where we have to improve, because the auditors will definitely come around to come and see that, okay, you said you are doing this. Now, is everything that you said you are doing, are you doing them? So they'll come around to come and check all those things. So it doesn't end here. There'll be more awareness programs, there'll be other meetings as well, there'll be staff involvement, just to get us in the right direction. So we have to continuously improve.
The ISO certification aligns with Advanced Ghana's broader mission of providing reliable and secure financial solutions to customers. Now, Ghanaian businesses missing out on a golden opportunity to do business in Cape Coast. Well, Nana Kwekwe and so the first certainly thinks so. The Ogua Sanahen, whose role is described as Finance Minister of the traditional area, highlights the untapped advantages presented by the geographical location of Cape Coast to all businesses involved in distribution and service provision. Speaking to Super Morning Show host Koje Yankson in the run-up to the 60th Ogua Fetua Fasha celebrations in September, the Sanahen outlined his plan to use the festival to draw businesses to the area, describing Cape Coast as a city of untapped opportunities.
Cape Coast has numerous opportunities, untapped opportunities, where people haven't actually realized what they could do in Cape Coast, right? And so for me, the traditional ruler responsible for development of the area, I want to take advantage of this affair to draw as many people as possible into Cape Coast, including the business community, to come into Cape Coast, to actually have a first-hand experience of what they could do in Cape Coast, or what Cape Coast has to offer to the business community. I think the development of Ghana cannot be complete without Cape Coast being a part of the whole plan. So as a traditional ruler, I want to take advantage of this affair to open up Cape Coast to the world, to the nation, for them to come and experience what we have here, so that the country, not only Cape Coast developing, they can affect Ghana as a whole.
What are some of these opportunities? What's Cape Coast got to offer?
Well, we are the heartbeat of tourism in Ghana. And we haven't even tapped 5% of the tourism opportunities in Cape Coast. That's there. One thing I always say is I think we are the best situated city in the country. I think so. Because apart from being close to the coast, we have a beautiful beach front here. Cape Coast is an hour and a half, 2 hours to Accra as the capital. We are about 2.5, 3 hours to Kumasi. We are 30, 45 minutes to Takoradi. And these are the three major markets in the country. So in terms of accessibility, you get to all these markets quicker from Cape Coast than anywhere in the country. So that's one of the things that entrepreneurs and investors should take into consideration. Because if you have a service business or a distribution business and you want to distribute across the key markets in Ghana, it's quicker to get to Cape Coast than Accra. Get to the market from Cape Coast than Accra. If you want to import, we have 45, one of the largest ports in the country, just right here, 45 minutes away, Takoradi. So why don't you set up in Cape Coast? Why in Accra? One thing I do understand is why is Coca-Cola in Accra? They distribute across the country. They get to Kumasi in 2-3 hours. Why would they leave Accra 5 hours to get to Kumasi? They get to Takoradi in 4 hours. Why aren't they in Cape Coast? And people don't know yet. But again, we lack certain things that doesn't make our town attractive for them to come and invest in here. And that's what we need to do. We need to have the right support, the right hospitals. We need to have the right private schools for their kids to attend. We need to have the right entertainment settings for them to be able to go and enjoy themselves. Once we have all these things in place, I don't see how anybody would set up a business in Accra targeting the key markets in the country.
All right, thanks for sticking with us here on the Marketplace. Last week on Show Business, we looked at the governing MPP's 2024 manifesto promising ideas to strengthen Ghana's creative industry. These included tax incentives to attract the private sector, visa policies, and the development of a streaming platform for local content. Fast forward, the main opposition party, NDC, is out with its own plans in this direction, and Kenneth Awutu-Darko, culture journalist, Major Online, joins me with more on it. So just run us through the promises made by the NDC as concerns the creative economy.
So as you rightly mentioned, it has been a very long week of back and forth between the two major political parties in terms of the manifesto. Former President John Mahama has indicated his bit of what he's going to do when his party eventually, or if the party takes power, as against what the MPP indicated about a week ago as well. Now, I'd like to run by you some of those promises. And as you can see on your screen, it has made a number of directives that it's planning to implement. One of them is the promotion of what it calls the Black Star Experience as Ghana's flagship culture, arts and tourism brand, to make the country actually the preferred tourism destination. And it also talks about the fact that it is planning to support young digital content creators in the country to promote their way, as long as they are promoting the heritage.
And they're also looking to revive the Creative Arts Fund to provide sustainable financial support for startups and the aiding large, medium, and small creative enterprises, also reviewing and strictly enforcing broadcasting, digital media, local content provisions to stimulate local artistic productions.
And also it talks about the facilitation and enforcement of collection of management system and copyright and royalties in Ghana, which has been a very big issue over the past few months when it comes to the creative space and how their revenue generation is concerned as well. Also the partnership with the private sector to build an ultra-modern recreation village with auditoriums, films.
You are the expert. How realistic are these promises?
I mean, it is one thing to speak from the point of a politician. It's another issue when it comes to what the technocrats or the industry persons think about it. They feel like this, just as the MPP also enumerated 2 weeks ago, these are all things that, if implemented, will really bolster the industry as a whole. But implementation is one thing that has been a major challenge that industry players are really raising concerns about, to ensure that if any of these parties are able to secure power come December 7, it's something that is going to improve the sector.
But really, what stands out to you and which you think would help boost the creative economy based on the promises outlined by the NDC?
So if you look at the comparison between the NDC manifesto and the NPP in terms of the creative economy, you'd realize that one thing stands out. We know from 2018, 2019 up until this point, we have seen the government champion what it calls this December in Ghana, basically. And it has been a series of activities, usually from the third and the fourth quarter of the year. We see a lot of activities happening that sort of promote tourism and arts and culture in the country. Now, that is what is very significant, one of the things that's very significant in the comparison, because the NDC also promises to create what it calls the Black Star Experience, With this time, it says it's going to be a year-long experience where it is also going to, as the current government is doing, also promote creativity, culture, and tradition in the country. But they are indicating that they will make sure that it's going to be a year-long process, and it's just not limited to the months heading towards the December as well. Also, it talks about the fact that it is ready to support youth digital content creators as well. And this is something that the NPP have also indicated. But the only difference in this is that the NPP says it's going to create a framework or a streaming platform sort of to help project the works of the Ghanaian creator as well.
What would be the hurdle if John Mahama should win the presidency? What hurdle would he have to cross to be able to implement some of these things?
It is when it comes to the partnership in terms of, for instance, the building of, like you indicate in the last point down there, the private partnership with the private sector to build Oshamodding, creation villages and auditoriums for films and all those things. That is also going to be a challenge that people are looking forward to, most especially because it's one of the promises that the NPP indicated in their 2020 manifesto to build theaters amongst other infrastructural, frameworks. And it has taken quite some time for that to see fruition. We are yet to see the sword cutting for the first, for instance, theater that has been promised. We haven't seen any theater yet. We understand that some works are going on in there, but nothing has happened. So if you look at that historic antecedent, that poses a very serious threat when it comes to the possibility of former President Mahama, seeing this through if he wins the presidency.
Well, I'd say it's good that the two political parties are, thinking about the creative economy is a good sign. And there's going to be a showbiz roundtable on some of these things later. We'll fill you in. My name is Darokwa. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We'll see you same time Monday. Till then, enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.